First of all, welcome to everyone who's joined this webinar. I think this is a very important and very timely topical subject that we're going to be talking about. And I can't tell you how much of a center stage this topic has taken up in AI impact, educating and employing the future workforce. This has almost become a center stage of conversation, both for industry as well as for academia. And I think the disruption of AI has been debated a lot, whether it's a positive, negative. There are also all kinds of impacts. We'll talk more about it. At a high level, our goal is to understand, at the end of this, at least you should be able to say, your goal is to understand the evolving landscape of how work and how we can prepare the workforce. That would be the takeaway for all those who are on this conference or on this webinar. And also, I think to summarize, kind of just to set the context for this conversation, currently, as you can imagine, the current trends, if you look at the industry, where it's heading, there is lots of technology integrations. I call it broadly as an integration because it is AI, it is automation, it is data analytics, it is machine learning. You can keep going on the technology side. But truly what it is the data integration, technology integration into the business that is happening. I mean, the technology is becoming part of the business. Technology is not something that you need to think post the business. There is also the trend of the gig economy that is changing the world, the way you think about jobs, the future of work, how employers and employees have to reimagine is evolving with the gig working. The evolution of lifelong learning, I think this is going to be the thing of the future, where skills becomes obsolete much sooner than we anticipate with the ever-changing landscape of the work environment. And also the work from anywhere is actually also going to become a reality. So I think these are the current trends, broadly, generally speaking. These are the boardroom discussion, I can say for sure, at the industry level. And I am, I'm the chairman and CEO of Talisma. This is what happens in our boardroom. I'm also the chairman for Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. So I'm wearing two hats right now on this call. And I can tell you that my fellow members of IACC, as well as the corporate boardrooms, are all talking. These are the big trends, and I can say that for sure. Now, what the expectation from the industry as we look at this and say, we want students who are digitally literate, which means they come out, they know how to adapt to an AI, how to AI works, how this happens. It's about they have to be able to adapt to the trends, because there's so many changes happening. They need to have a new skill called adapting. Right? I think that's an important skill set that they have to develop. Entrepreneurial mindset and be able to compete at a global level, because this world is definitely flat right now, and it's much closer than we imagine. So this is the sort of the broader context setting that I want to do. And then now I would have to now turn it over to each of the panelists. I'll call upon to give a brief, within 3 to 5 minutes, to talk about your own impressions about these the topic of AI impact, education and employment for the future workforce. And today I have a special guest who has joined us, and Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe is, I've been a follower of him for a very, very long time. I've only met him at conferences, but he's very well known for educational academicians. Don't need introduction, but we have many of them from industry on this call as well. So for them, to introduce Professor Sahasrabudhe, he is chairman of National Educational Technology Forum, NEFT. He has also played roles in the NAC and the accreditation agency, which is the National Assessment and Accreditation Agency. He was the chairman for that in the past as well. So he is, he is dear and near to most academicians. If everybody on the call here would immediately say that, and in this. So it's a great pleasure and honor, sir, to have you on this call. So before we will love to start with you, and then I'll turn it over to the others.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Raj. I hope it is audible.
Yes, it is.
I welcome this particular initiative taken by Talisma Jivika, in particular Dr. Raj, for getting all educationists as well as industry doyens on a single platform to talk about what are the AI trends, how they are affecting the education, how they are affecting the future of jobs, and therefore how our students need to be fully geared up and prepared. So this is a very topical area which you have taken up. Secondly, you also talked about what you say, lifelong learning. And that is also becoming very important because whatever we learn from the colleges and universities, many times it will get outdated even before we graduate. What we learned in the first year may be outdated by the time we are in the final year of our education. And therefore, continuous learning, lifelong learning, skilling, reskilling, upskilling are the important words which are used both by academicians and industry. But how much are we really practicing is the real question which we have to ponder upon and know upon. And today, unlike in the past, opportunities are immense in terms of learning by oneself. Earlier, we had to go to a professor or a faculty in some institute or an industry expert, visit him or her, or go to a library, hunt for a book or a journal, and then get that knowledge. Thanks to the revolution at the fag end of the 20th century, that internet which came in started empowering all of us to Google out and find out information. One step further is today there is artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, OpenAI platforms from where even large number of links will also not be required. It will give a summary of all that what you want. So AI has gone so much beyond that intelligence based on data which is available in the background, collecting all of that, compiling all of that, making sense out of that, and giving you in a nutshell form, whether it is a short version, longer version, very long version, anything and everything is possible today. And therefore, work of whether faculty, students, industry doyens has substantially reduced one way of hunting for information, analyzing that information and putting it into one place. However, what still needs to be realized and known is ultimately human intelligence is going to be superior to artificial intelligence. Because something which is already existing, the kind of solutions which exist, that information which is already there, that may be summarized. But based on that, based on the futuristic trends and what we want to achieve, based on our goals, our vision, what we make use of that information, the manner in which we want to make use of this information is ultimately the Homo sapiens mind which will work. And that's why it's very important to have the human intelligence also in play. And there is also a program which is going to start very soon and it's going to become very popular is about prompt engineering. What ChatGPT will give is based on the nature of questions we ask. So the right kind of questions to be asked. So based on what I ask, I'll get a reply. And that is what in the universities and colleges also, when a professor will ask a question, he will answer depending on what you asked. So similarly, OpenAI will give answer based on what we have asked, and therefore right kind of questions to be asked are important. Teachers many a times say that given an assignment, each of the students will just go to ChatGPT platform and then get the answer and then submit. How do we evaluate students based on that? So there is a simple way of adopting to this that you rightly said, Raj, that adoption is the most important. Adoption of anything and everything that is going to happen, be it teachers, be it people from the industry, be it the students. And that's why, even if there is some question asked and therefore giving a right prompt, you got an answer, you have to comprehend, understand that. Just submitting an assignment does not make any sense. How much have I followed out of that? Have I critically analyzed the nuances of that? And if there is a variation in the problem statement in the classroom by the teacher, am I able to adapt to it and then give you a right answer? I think that is where the examination evaluation system is going to lead to. So you may not have the answer at your hand because you have not understood it, you have just submitted it. That will not any make sense. And therefore, there is a huge opportunity using AI and machine learning in order to ease the way the functioning of the academic institutions and also industry is going to happen. And that's why on one side, there are courses required in AI, but more importantly, in how different domains of knowledge we are going to make use of AI. See, one is AI itself. We must train our students to not just make use of AI from the outside world, but create our own platforms, our own applications is one part of the story. But the other part of the story is how, in whether it is economics, whether it is in history, whether it is in geography, the right kind of knowledge, information gathering is also required, and that's where learning happens. And therefore, not just in engineering, but in all domains of knowledge, AI is going to be used. And that is where we are leading to, and that's why basic training in AI is required for everyone. See, some few years back, we were saying 3 hours are important, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Then we started telling that everyone should know a little bit of computer science, some programming, or use of at least Microsoft Excel, so that you are useful. Now today, every citizen of the country, every student, right from school to higher education, must know a minimum of AI. That is what is going to be. And that's why in school education curriculum also, AI is already embedded right from some 8th standard, 9th standard onwards. And that is where we are leading. Dr. Raj, I stop here because there are several panelists, different viewpoints which will emerge, and we may have some interaction amongst ourselves as well. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is, I think I'll catch on to the last part you said. That was very, very important. I think the AI is only a tool. It is what you do with the tool is what matters. Like, you will have AI specialists who can write AI, who large language models, those who build it, but then there are more people who will be using it in a way to put it into the domain. Whether it is, art, science, liberal arts, STEM, it doesn't matter where you are, which industry, bank, insurance or FMCG, everybody will actually look to use it. I think there'll be more people who have to learn AI to find ways how they're going to use it in their domain. And then there are users at the last mile who actually will be using this. So I think wonderfully summarized there, Dr. Professor Sahasrabudhe. I'll come back to you. I've got some points there about prompt engineering. I really want to prompt you on the prompt engineering part. So I'll now turn it over to Dr. Madhu Chitkara. Again, no introduction required. She's somebody, I think, somebody who's actually grown from being a teacher all the way to being a pro-chancellor of Chitkara University. She's seen all types of brain, the brains that are just very child, very evolving stage, all the way through teenage and grown-up boys. And there's an evolution. She has a wealth of evolutionary experience. So we would love to hear from her in terms of her take on how she looks at the subject.
Thank you, Dr. Raj, giving this type of introduction. So first of all, it's very difficult to be the second speaker, and that too, the first speaker is the person like Dr. Sahasrabudhe. So I think you have given me a very difficult job, but I will try my best to justify my talk. And well said by you that I taught P2P, so primary school students to PhD, and I know that what is their in mindset. And then I saw the administration also that how it works. So when we were talking about AI and using AI in our campuses, and I think it all started through pandemic, that when we were all many technologies, and well said by sir that 3 hours were now there is no importance to 3 hours, but the importance is to the tools, the technology, and I think all the universities are investing so much on it. And since artificial intelligence last 3-4 years, I think it started many years back, but in academic institutes like us, in private universities, 5-6 years back we started, and I have seen the huge impact on society, both economically and culturally. I think this change, which is very fast change, and well said by my previous speaker that every day when first year the students are attending, and whatever curriculum we are framing at APGs, normally we do the APG for 2-3 years, 4 years together, so that there should be a continuity of the content. But now when they are going out, passing out from our organizations, we don't know that what industry is doing and what is the requirement by the industry. In a minute, the industry 2.0 becomes 3.0, 3.0 becomes 4.0, and we have to catch them, catch that spirit. So I think now AI and these technologies have just like become common email. So I think this is a change, and how the AI is playing a role in our educational system, in our teaching learning processes, in our all the verticals of education. I will just give you one example that as AI technologies are growing and we are still learning, I can't say that we are already fit for using AI very foolproof in our organizations, because educationists are still learning. And well said by sir that it is to be again rescale. We have to upskill our all the verticals, maybe it is industry or education or parents, or because everybody has to be aware of that how the technologies are used and how they have to talk to their students, how, because they are, when they are using technology, sometimes parents are not very comfortable that वो तो सारा time mobile पे है जी, smartphone पे है. But it is the need of the hour to understand that how important is to use these technologies. And I will give you one example, all the panelists and all my speakers to understand that I will give you one example. Sir has given the example from engineering background, and since it is a multidisciplinary campus in Chitkara University, at a business school, we are using a simulator that is SysIM. And it is a business simulator software with support of AI that makes our students very uniquely capable of taking the balanced decision making, that what job they have to opt for. And it was a good example when I will tell you that how we did it. For example, I wanted to become a data analyst. And I don't know that whether that capability is in me or not. So using this simulated this thing and using this system platform, how we did that, the teacher was there to handhold and they were only the facilitator, and they were using those and they were giving the again and again the assessment was done. And after 10 assessments, that tool said that you are okay with this post, this job can be taken by you, but for doing this, use these other skills or do these 3, 4 programs or credits, then you will be ready for the market. So I think that this is such a great idea where as a teacher, I was not able to do that evaluation that after 4 years or after 2 years doing MBA, where he can be placed. So there was a dilemma in our mind that what teachers are doing or what academia is doing, whether that is demanded by the industry or not. So I think these are the small steps. If we start doing it with the help of the AI tools and with the help of the technologies available in the market, and I will give you one of the some of the technologies, and some of our industry guys are sitting in our panel. They will also guide us after the session that how we can use their tools also. So we are using Pearson's. And this offered the adaptable systems that change the material, the tasks of learning all the time. So it is a continuous review where they give you the feedback side by side, and you can work accordingly. So, for example, the students are coming in our universities, especially I'm not talking about the IITs and the good universities where the students are coming of the same caliber. Here it is a mixed ability group. Students are some are of average ability, some are of below average, some are above average. Now, using these AI tools, we are able to understand that how much ready they are, because we are not aware of their 10th board or 12th board in first year. After that, we have the mid-semester examination results. So we know that what is the capability of the student. So from first year onwards, now we have started working on it, and it is giving us the great results in our campuses. And we use the D2L as a platform for digital education. E-learning is used, and these resources are used in our educational system where we are taking the help of the industry along with making our teachers the great mentors and what we are doing. So we have started doing the faculty development programs, FDPs for the teachers. And for that, we are going for the different platforms. We are taking the Harvard Business online programs, and this is free of cost for all our stakeholders. Even our alumni are using that. We are telling them that it is always upskilling is required. You have to skill yourself, whether you are placed in the industry or whether you are doing your own business. But there is always in the market something very new which you have to understand. So while giving them the Coursera platforms, the LinkedIn programs, and these are free of cost for our alumni, for our students, and even for our professors. So they are doing the programs using these links, and from there they are learning along with the students. So I think it's a great win-win for the students and for the teachers also. Now, coming to the research part, because this is a very important vertical, we always say that if the student is along with the teaching, they're doing something research part, then their mind becomes very inquisitive. And for that, we have a department of Turing, which is Chitkara University Research and Innovation Network, where from day one, the students who are of above ability group, we handhold them, and that handholding is done by the researchers of our organization. So what will they do is that they said that do something along with your academics, that some research has to be done. And doing those research papers, so the result, the outcome is so great that we are able to publish 10,000 Scopus Index research papers. Out of those, uh, 7,000 citations are there. So I think this is a great contribution where we are using these AI tools along with our the help of our professors and help of the industry. So I think this will become well said by Sir that it will be a best thing when it is reskilling is done, upskilling is done, and using AI. So that was my take on today. Thank you, Raj, and
Wonderful.
thank
Yeah, wonderful, Dr. Chitkara. I think you brought up very interesting, but the first thing you said was very powerful. I never heard the term before, P2P, right? Primary to PhD. I mean, that was, say, we always learn, people from industry, they always need to learn these new terms. Because now I'm going to turn it over to the folks from the industry side. I completely agree.
I started, shall we tell one thing, I started teaching in 76. So it is 48 years of journey into education. So I have seen all the changes. I started with the Pascal photon and COBOL. So I worked 84 National Education Policy when it came into picture. So I worked on a BBC microcomputer given by Margaret Thatcher. It was free of cost given to our schools. I was teaching in a school. So from there, coming to AI, coming to Chat GPT, I think for me, it's a long journey to understand, and every day I have to learn, even from my students, that I am every day learning that what now today I learn, I cram Chat GPT. Next day something new. The sir was saying prompt. Now I have to go and ask my teacher and students that please give me some knowledge about prompt, because next time any of the panelists can ask what is prompts. So sir, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, madam. Thank you so much. So obviously, on the participation, we have 50% of them who actually have joined this actually are from the industry. Right? These are ISCC members and these are member companies who actually are participating. So it was refreshing for them to hear an academic point of view. Now, I think the other 50% who are from the academic background who are on this call, I think they will gain from hearing from the industry standpoint. So for that, we have a couple of good industry speakers here. We'll start with Mr. Umesh Joshi. Umesh actually has been in the industry for long. He's been involved in transforming workspaces through innovative learning solutions. So he has a good learning combo with industry. So I think it brings a new, and he's currently the co-founder of Calibr, an AI-powered learning experience platform. So Umesh, over to you. Love to hear your thoughts.
No, thank you, Dr. Raj. I think first of all, I'd like to thank you and ISCC for inviting me for this conference. It's definitely an honor to be with such amazing panelists. Especially, it's great to be in the same screen as Dr. Sahasrabudhe, right? I would like to pick up one thing that you mentioned, and I firmly believe in that when I started Calibr, is that the skills are getting obsolete now, and there are multiple industry reports which claim that more than 50% of the skills of today would no more be required in another 2 to 3 years. And what that means is that a new set of skills are coming in, and that not just students but the workforce also needs to be constantly reskilled on those new skill. Take for example, 2 years back nobody knew about generative AI, and today we are talking about prompt engineering, which is probably a subset of generative AI, right, which is an offshoot of generative AI. And a related a data point which comes out in again these research reports is that not just the skills will get obsolete in next couple of years, the content, the learning content which is there out in the market, whether, and mostly when they talk about learning content, it is the online learning content, majority of this learning content, the lifespan will shrink. Today, when somebody created a Java program 10 years back, most likely it lived for a decade or more. But today what's happening, the new skills should be churned out much faster. And so which means that, not just the students, but all of us who are in the workforce have to constantly learning. That's why this concept of lifelong learning is emerging, because new skills which are emerging would be, they will have a shorter lifespan, and more and more skills will keep coming. And so it's very important that not just educational institutes, but the workforce also very seriously take the reskilling and unskilling part. While reskilling is important, unskilling is also important. And I have a very close connection with this entire area, because of my new venture, which we started in workforce reskilling and upskilling. And when you double click on what are the kind of skills which are emerging as of today, of course, when you talk about some of these things, some of these the skills have a shorter horizon, but some of these skills might have a slightly longer horizon. AI definitely will have a longer horizon than any of the skills which are in the market, primarily because of its applicability, right? I mean, it is helping you do things faster than it was done via human, or it is helping you predict, it is helping you do data crunching, and you pick any domain, right? Like Dr. Sahasrabudhe said that AI has applicability in almost every domain. It is so true. You pick up, we deal with BFSI, we deal with healthcare, we deal with travel, and almost in every of these domains, there is an application of AI. Now, if you again double click on each of these industries and start getting into their functions, you talk to the finance department, you talk to their HR department, you talk to their operation department. We are finding that each of these departments have started thinking about how either AI can help them automate some of these things which are done by human beings, which will help them save cost, or AI can help them do things better and improve the quality, right? Take, for example, I was talking to one of our customers, which is from hospitality sector, and they are thinking about how AI can help them actually improve their customer check-in experience. When you walk into a hotel and you spend 10 to 15 minutes, right, there is a certain experience. And so you would imagine that there are different areas where people are thinking about how AI can actually have an application. And of course, the space of education is also not a different domain, right? Um, Even in education, there are multiple applications, and that's where at least we closely work in terms of rapidly creating content, rapidly finding skill gaps, etc. But coming back to the point of while there is a general acceptability that new skills are emerging and people needs to constantly reskill, AI is definitely one area which there is a huge skill gap that as an industry I see. We feel like a lot of problems that we face or our customers tell us can be solved through AI, but when we start looking out in the market, there is definitely a lack of skilled workforce. And the AI skill can again be split into three different